be very selective. Start practicing tomorrow. My heart doesn't want this. My heart wants this. My heart doesn't want this. My heart wants this. You need a full heart want, not want audit. And God needs to hear all of it. Like, to give God the whole laundry list, tell God everything has to go, and then sit back and get a martini and let God do the work. Good morning, my friend, and welcome now to Wednesday. Well, it's the first breakdown of the Libra season. Expect the unexpected. Minor breakdowns and breakthroughs and rude awakenings are possible today. From my smartphone to yours, keep streaming for your Wednesday Namaste today. Welcome to Namaste Today, a nurturing way to start each day. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Sensei Chris Witecki. I work in the modality of psychic astrology, and I'm on a personal mission to stand in my heart and help raise the vibration of love on earth. Namaste, my friend, and welcome now to Wednesday. Well, today I predict the first breakdown of the Libra season. Step 13 rules the day. That means you may experience something shocking or a rude awakening or information you didn't know that tips the scales of justice in your life. This week we're trying to raise ourselves to a higher view, but today you may see the low end of that view. So in today's Megascope, I'll give you some tips on surviving a breakdown, but first, let's take a look at your zodiac weather. This zodiac weather is for Wednesday, October 5th, 2016. Looking ahead at the 5-day moodcast. Tomorrow is going to be cloudy and maturing, but the storm should be over. Friday expected to be sunny and super excitable. And Saturday I'm predicting cloudy, introverted, and spiritual. But today, it's showers with the chance of storms. Expect minor breakdowns and breakthroughs in the next 24 hours. Now the Great Human Walk has reached Step 13 Libra today. That means our ruling channel is Channel 4, I Belong. And that means the ruling planet is tricky Uranus. Now our emotional focus is opening up to new possibilities. So the moon is in Act 1 of Sagittarius, and our mental focus is ready to walk the talk and impatient. Mercury is at step 27, Virgo and direct. So if you have something breaking down today, I have a little checklist that'll help you get through in today's Megascope. But first, how about getting some tea and joining me for your tea time? Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is psychic signs. And this might have been talked about before, but maybe not in this context. As we're opening up, I want to share with you some physical psychic signs that I often get that's accompanied with information. It's my understanding that our guides are observing us the entire time. I almost think that when we die, what we do is we end up watching everyone else, like a football game. And the ones that are with us are quite close to us. In fact, it's my understanding that our personal guides will deliberately lean into our aura in order to create certain sensations in our body when they want us to understand something. And this is not a biological reaction as we think, but I believe a psychic reaction. For instance, the first psychic sign is goosebumps. Now, we've all heard the term, oh my God, that gave me goosebumps. Well, I think goosebumps quite often are just that, where our guides kind of lean into our aura and give us goosebumps. And the way you know is you have to be paying attention to what you're saying or what you're thinking about at the time of goosebumps. Now, most of the time I get goosebumps, I'm actually in a reading. I get goosebumps in a reading all the time. And that's literally because I'm channeling, I'm picking up on my guides, and the goosebumps for me are almost applause. They're telling me, bravo, that's exactly what we mean. I also find that I get goosebumps more often when I'm searching. So if I'm saying I think or I wonder so if I'm questioning and then I get the answer, I will get goosebumps, usually on my arms or down my legs, okay? This is different from goosebumps when you're cold, because that's an obvious physical sensation. This has to do in conversation. And my goosebumps will come in the dead of summer. They'll come, on a, on a roller coaster. It's like it doesn't really matter. They'll come whenever I need to have that message. So I always say to people who are learning, if you get goosebumps, rewind what you were just thinking about and make that little consciousness more important than normal. Just pay closer attention to that. There's absolutely a reason. But there's others as too. Hot flashes. When you get a hot flash, now for me, I think a hot flash for me is a warning. So if I'm talking, I've noticed that when I get a hot flash, first of all, it goes from the top of my head all the way down. I literally almost feel like a bead of sweat break out in my entire body as it goes down. Whenever I get hot flashes, it's always around danger or warnings. That's just my own interpretation for me. I think that it's probably that way for most people, but I also think that everyone has their own dialogue with their guides, and so hot flashes may mean something else for you. I know it means menopause if you're a woman in your 40s, but again, it's a hot flash that you have in a conversation. I've gotten hot flashes in the dead of winter. I've gotten them in the dead of summer, and to me, it is always some sort of a warning. Like if I'm talking about somebody out drinking and driving, and I get a hot flash, I will totally, call them up and say, you need to take a cab or something. So hot flashes are important. Pay attention to them and try to decode what they mean for you. Then there's also cold chills, okay? A cold chill is kind of like goosebumps. It leads to goosebumps, but it's a deeper chill. I don't know how to describe it other than you actually feel cold and you have the goosebumps both. Now, for me, cold chills is usually a hallelujah from my guides. So if I'm talking about something and I get cold chills, they're basically saying, "Oh, it is so true, hallelujah." Like it feels like it's an affirmation to the deepest degree, a cold chill, and usually it's related to a truth, is what I've noticed. So if you suddenly think about alien conspiracies in Nevada and you get a cold chill, to me, that's your guide saying, yes, that is a deep truth that you need to know about. So you may get cold chills today. It's a Breakdown Breakthrough Day, step 13. And that's one of the reasons why I want to bring this up, because the universe might be trying to tell you, hey, this is a deep truth that you really should pay attention to. Another form of psychic signs is deja vu. We've all had deja vu before. I believe it's because our deja vu comes from the fact that when we're dreaming, we're actually creating our reality in the future. I argue, it's my belief that every time you go to bed at night, you are creating your life in about 6 weeks from now, 40 days from now. That's my belief. So the deja vu is that when you actually play out that day in the present, the present that comes, the present, sometimes you remember your planning of it in heaven. That's my belief. And so it's not an accident that you have a deja vu, even though they seem to be so stupid. I mean, like deja vus are like when I'm pouring coffee or talking to my mother or, driving down the street, something so small. But what I think the importance of them is that it's affirming that things are going the way you intended. So when you have a deja vu, I often notice that on days of deja vu, I'm often questioning my life. Like, is this right? Should I even be here? Is this what I'm supposed to do? And then I'll have a deja vu. And the universe is literally saying, yes, not only are you supposed to be here, you planned it in your sleep 6 weeks ago. See? You know what I mean? Sometimes deja vus, though, I think also pull you into a certain sense. So the deja vu isn't so much about what it's about, literal information. But sometimes the deja vu is more about putting you back in that dream state and putting you back into that kind of that trance, so you're back in touch with spirit again. So deja vu can be an affirmation, or it can be bringing you back to spirit into that kind of channeled view, because maybe you need to listen to spirit at that time. Then the last one I want to talk about, which is never talked about, is exhaustion. Exhaustion is quite often a psychic sign. All right. I've noticed with clients, for instance, when their guides are taking care of them and they don't pay attention to their psychic signs, they will become exhausted as a means to prevent them from doing something wrong. So if you're having great energy and you're planning to do something and all of a sudden you're exhausted and can't get off the couch, sometimes that's spirit saying, stay home. Sometimes you're being literally held down so that you don't do something stupid. And to some degree, you could say, well, that's interfering with free will. Nope, you could overcome it. You know what I mean? But I have had examples, I can tell many examples where, one comes to high school where a bunch of kids got in a car accident, but one of the kids that was going was just too tired, couldn't get off, literally could not get up to go, and they were spared that horrible accident. So I've seen from experience. So don't take exhaustion as just being tired, especially if it comes out of nowhere. It might be a sign, and you might ask yourself, hey, is Spirit trying to tell me something right now? All right, well, I hope that helps you with your signs today. I know it's going to be kind of a tough day. Well, I'm going to take a sip of tea now and talk to my guides and see what they may have to say for you on this Breakdown Breakthrough Day. So, Spirit is pretty clear with me today, and they're telling me that the breakdown today is actually a test of your belief, which is interesting. I didn't get that until just now. So, they're saying that this is one of the first tests of your beliefs. We've all been on this path of believing one thing or another, and certainly reality has been toying with what we truly believe. But today, your breakdown will be if you lose belief in yourself or you lose belief in what you're doing. And remember, belief comes from the heart. If your heart believes it, it is true because we are in creation. Just because your mind doesn't know how it's going to happen or you've never seen it before doesn't mean it's not going to happen. And, I have just to say, none of us really get out of this particular one. When I say tests of faith, that is, when your heart believes something, you go ahead and risk being a jackass and see if it's true. You'll see over time that your heart does not let you down. Now, I have some steps here to help you with possible breakdowns. In fact, if you're having a breakdown, consider an issue you have on fire and apply these questions. So let's say your car breaks down or your relationship breaks down. You'll want to ask these questions. Question 1, what is it that your heart really wants out of this situation? All right. A lot of times we get brought into our mind and argument and tit for tat and our ego's trying to win. Get to the heart. What does your heart want? You must know what your heart wants to be able to break through. Step 2, what do you believe it should be? All right, and that's the component the spirits just came up with. Your belief is what you're creating. So do you believe that this breakdown is happening this way? Do you believe there's other options? Do you believe you might find something you don't know now? Ask yourself all these questions and find out what you believe. Step 3, where do you belong in this situation? So if it's, for instance, like a relationship where they're mistreating you, where do you belong? Well, you belong in a relationship where you're being well treated. Knowing where you belong sets law of attraction in action and gets you moving towards your goal. So make sure you know where you belong. Now, for those watch over my personal sensei service, today in the Raising the View week, I'm going to help you with practical exercises to stay on track in your life. All this theory, all this spirit. Well, how about some practical to-dos? That's what I'm going to give you today. And in your 3 o'clock eye candy, I'm going to talk about the Jupiter-Mars square going on right now in the sky, which is near Pluto, and how this Jupiter-Mars square is kind of pulling you apart. Where should you act on in the two struggles? I'll tell you where to put pressure and where to let go of pressure in your 3 o'clock eye candy. For those for those who are watching on YouTube, forgive me, see breakdowns, please be kind and do subscribe. And if you'd like to follow me on Twitter, my handle is cwateki. And if you'd like to join the brightest community of light on the internet, come on down to SeriousJoy.tv. In fact, today is a mega date, so for those who are subscribers, be sure to check your Megascope today. This is one of the days I really outline in your monthly Megascope. Megascopes are monthly videos that I give to my subscribers for free for subscribing. So come on down and take a look. If you do subscribe, you'll have instant access to the Megascopes, by the way. All right, my friends. Well, I certainly hope you survive these rough tides. I know it's been a little difficult for me and Bella the last 24 hours. We've been trying our best, too. Do remember while you're out there, I love you, and live, love, be.